young councilwoman come into the council, she came to my desk carrying a huge jug of coffee and spilt it all over my coffee. I still have those coffee stains to this day. We can never get it out. But on behalf of the Sergeant at Arms and myself, we'd like to congratulate you and wish you the best of luck. Carlina Rivera, thank you. On that note, at this time, please place all electronic devices to vibrate. Madam Majority Leader.
Good afternoon and welcome to the stated meeting of August 14th, 2025. I am Majority Leader Amanda Farias and I'd like to thank you for joining us. If you would like to follow along, the agenda for today's meeting is posted on our website. On behalf of the body, I welcome the members of the public who have joined us today. During stated meetings, only members of the council may speak. Members of the public shall remain silent. If you wish to express your support of any remarks, you may make the silent approval gesture. I want to remind my colleagues that decorum is to be respected at all times. Insulting each other is not appropriate. All remarks are to be addressed to the chair and members shall not speak unless recognized by the chair. It is essential that even if we disagree, we treat each other with respect.
Please join us for the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Abreu.
Here.
Aviles. Ayala. Banks.
Here.
Botcher.
Here.
Brannan. Brewer.
Here.
Brooks Powers.
Present.
Caban.
Present.
Carr. De La Rosa.
Here.
Aviles.
Presente.
Dinowitz.
Present.
Felder. Felice. Gennaro. Gutierrez. Ayala. Brannan. Hanif.
Here.
Hanks.
Present.
Holden.
Here.
Hudson. Joseph.
Here.
Krishnan.
Here.
Lee.
Here.
Lewis.
Present.
Marmorato.
Present.
Marte. Mealy. Menon.
Here.
Morano.
Here.
Moya. Narcisse.
Present.
Nurse. Osei.
Present.
Palladino.
Here.
Powers.
Here.
Wrestler.
Here.
Riley. Rivera.
Present.
Salam.
Present.
Felice.
Here.
Salamanca. Felder. Thank you, Councilmember. Sanchez.
Present.
I did. Thank you, Councilmember Felder. Shulman.
Here.
Stevens.
Here.
Ung.
Present.
Vernikoff. Williams.
Present.
One. Zhuang.
Here.
Hudson.
Present.
Ariola.
Present.
Farias.
Present.
Speaker Adams.
Gennaro, you got Gennaro?
Gennaro.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you. We will now have today's invocation, which will be delivered by Reverend Eric Thomas, pastor of Siloam Presbyterian Church, which is located at 260 Jefferson Avenue in Brooklyn.
Good afternoon. I'd like to thank Speaker Adams and Councilmember Osei for the invitation and the entire body for the opportunity to be with you today. Please know that my congregation joins many communities of faith, lifting you up weekly in our worship for such times as these. Let us pray. O gracious and merciful God, we give you thanks for this day and for your many blessings upon us. We ask that your presence is felt at this meeting and with all who participate. Let us be guided by your wisdom, creativity, and courage for the betterment of our city and all who live in it, especially those who are most vulnerable. Equip us to carry out the change we wish to see. Surprise us with the ability to act with compassion and with justice. We ask these things with faith and with hope. Amen.
Thank you. I would now ask Councilmember Chi Osei to spread the invocation on the record.
Thank you, Reverend Thomas, for spreading today's invocation. Reverend embodies what it means to live one's values with dignity and unwavering compassion. His work stands as a reminder of the power of service to uplift those in need. We are grateful for his leadership and for anchoring today's gathering and purpose. As the first openly gay pastor of Siloam, he has led with immense courage and conviction. Since 2017, he has modernized the church through vital building repairs, the launch of Siloam CDC of Bed-Stuy, and by opening its parish house to programs like the Bed-Stuy Kids Preschool of Business. He has given deeply to our community, and for that we are grateful. Thank you, Majority Leader, and once again, thank you, Reverend Thomas, for being a staple of Bed-Stuy and all he has done. His contributions are immeasurable. I make a motion for unanimous consent to spread the invocation in full upon the record.
Thank you. We will now ask Councilmember Bob Holden for the adoption of minutes.
I make a motion that the minutes of the stated meetings of June 30th, 2025 and July 14th, 2025 be adopted as printed.
Messages and papers from the mayor.
M156 through M158, mayoral vetoes.
Consumer and Worker Protection.
M159, mayoral veto.
Received, ordered, printed, and filed.
Communication from city, county, and borough offices.
M160, OMB report.
Received, ordered, printed, and filed.
M161, Commissioner of Elections recommendation.
Received, ordered, printed, and filed.
Petitions and communications.
None.
Land use call-ups.
M162 through M166.
Thank you. I now ask that the clerk take a roll call vote on today's land use call-ups.
Abreu.
Aye.
Aviles.
Aye.
Ayala.
Aye.
Banks.
Aye.
Botcher.
Aye.
Brannon.
Aye.
Brewer. Brooks Powers.
Aye.
Caban.
Aye.
Carr. De La Rosa.
Aye.
Dinowitz.
Aye.
Felder.
Aye.
Thank you, I heard that. Feliz.
Aye and all.
Gennaro.
Aye.
Thank you. Gutierrez. Hanif.
Aye.
Thank you. Hanks.
Aye.
Holden.
Aye.
Hudson.
Aye.
Joseph.
Aye.
Krishnan.
Aye.
Lee.
Aye.
Lewis.
Aye.
Mamarato.
Aye.
Marte. Mealy. Menin.
Aye.
Morano.
Aye.
Moya. Narcisse.
Aye.
Nurse. Osei.
Aye.
Palladino. Powers.
Aye.
Rustler.
Aye.
Riley. Rivera.
How about aye?
Salam. Salamanca. Palladino. Thank you.
Aye.
Thank you. Sanchez.
Aye.
Schulman.
Aye.
Stevens.
Ask for permission to vote for all items on today's agenda.
Permission granted.
Aye and all.
Ung.
Aye.
Vernikov. Nice. Williams.
How about aye?
Thank you. 1. Zhuang.
Aye.
Thank you. Salam, land use call-ups.
Vote aye.
Thank you. Ariola.
I vote aye.
Farias.
How about aye?
Speaker Adams.
I vote aye.
Today's land use call-ups are adopted by a vote of 41 in the affirmative and 0 in the negative. We will now have communication from Speaker Adrian Adams.
Thank you very much, and good afternoon, everyone. Last month, 4 New Yorkers were killed in a horrific shooting in Midtown Manhattan. NYPD Detective Didarul Islam, Alan Etienne, Wesley LePatner, and Julia Hyman. I know that our hearts are with the victims, loved ones, and all those affected by this tragedy, and I pray for a quick recovery for those who were injured and traumatized. This tragedy underscores our urgent and continued fight to end gun violence, which has taken too many lives and devastated our communities. 2 more New Yorkers died on the job over the past month. Jose Luis Morano Ramirez, a construction worker, and Diego Sandoval Nava, a worker at a bodega. My thoughts and prayers are with their families and loved ones as they mourn these tragic losses. Yesterday, we learned that Trump's ICE detained yet another one of our students. Mamadou Mukhtar Diallo was taken after showing up for a routine court appearance. The actions by ICE, including their dangerous policy of targeting people attending court hearings, as they are told to do, and routine check-ins, stoke fear in our communities and undermine public safety, and I join New Yorkers to demand Mukhtar's release and safe return to his community. Throughout the month of August, we have many important holidays to recognize. August is National Breastfeeding Month, a time when we promote the importance of lactation equity, including making lactation rooms more accessible in our workplaces and public spaces. The Council is proud of our commitment to ensure accommodations for our nursing mothers. August 3rd was Tisha B'Av, a day of fasting, prayer, and reflection observed by our Jewish communities. August 6th was Jamaican Independence Day. August 10th was Ecuadorian Independence Day. Today is Pakistan Independence Day. Tomorrow is Indian Independence Day and the National Liberation Day of Korea. August 19th is Afghanistan Independence Day, and August 21st is National Senior Citizens Day. As I always have, I call our older adults the jewels of our communities, and I strive to be them. We all appreciate it all. We appreciate all that our seniors have done for us. August 24th is Ukraine Independence Day. August 26th is Women's Equality Day, which was created thanks to the advocacy of former New York Congresswoman Bella Abzug. And August 31st is not just my 36th wedding anniversary, but it is Trinidad and Tobago Independence Day. Cards, we need cards. New York City is home to so many diverse communities that are essential to our culture and economy. I hope that all who celebrate and have a safe, meaningful time spent with their loved ones and community members. I also want to wish a happy birthday to my colleagues who were born in the month of August. Minority Leader, this looks like half of your conference. Councilmember Marmorato on the 18th. Councilmember Carr on the 28th. Councilmember Vernikoff on the 30th. And our Brooklyn Councilmember Darlene Mealy on the 31st. And I also want to shout out and say happy belated birthday to our Deputy Chief of Staff for Communications, our very own Mandela Jones. Hey. Now let's move on to our stated agenda. First, we'll vote on the following finance items. A preconsidered resolution sponsored by Councilmember Justin Brannan would establish a new 40-year Article 11 tax exemption for 14 4- and 5-storied buildings in the districts of Councilmembers De La Rosa, Dinowitz, Sanchez, Feliz, Stevens, and Salamanca. And a preconsidered resolution also sponsored by Councilmember Brannan approving the new designation and changes in the designation of certain organizations to receive funding in the expense budget. Next, we'll vote on the following land use items. 47 Hall Street rezoning will facilitate the redevelopment of a site containing 10 existing buildings in Councilmember Hudson's district. The proposed redevelopment will include both new construction and renovation to provide approximately 611 housing units, with approximately a quarter of the units being permanently affordable under MIH Option 1. It will also include over 280,000 square feet of commercial space and up to 60 accessory parking spaces. 347 Flushing Avenue will amend the zoning map to bring an existing commercial building into zoning compliance in Councilmember Ressler's district. 236 Gold Street rezoning will facilitate the development of a new 14-story mixed-use residential and commercial building with approximately 114 housing units, 29 of which will be permanently affordable under MIH Option 1, also in Councilmember Ressler's district. 42-11 30th Avenue rezoning will facilitate the redevelopment of a site containing an existing one-story grocery store in Councilmember Caban's district. The new 5-story mixed-use residential and commercial building will provide approximately 28 housing units, up to 8 of which will be permanently income restricted under MIH options 1 or 3. It will also include additional commercial floor space for the store. An application to facilitate the redevelopment and enlargement of Lenox Hill Hospital in Councilmember Powers' district, which has served the city since 1869. It will include 475 single-bed patient rooms, modernized operating rooms, and other clinical spaces, and the creation of needed ambulance bays, which will allow the hospital to provide optimal patient care. The modified proposal reflects years of community input and includes changes to reduce the maximum building height. As part of the project, the hospital will make significant investments to the southbound entrance of the 77th Street subway station, including for ADA accessibility. And the Midtown South Mixed-Use Plan, which is the largest residential neighborhood rezoning in 2 decades and will deliver nearly 10,000 units of housing, over 2,800 of which will be permanently affordable in Councilmembers Bottcher and Powers districts. Through negotiation on the rezoning, the council secured over $448 million in economic development investments to support the garment district's fashion and garment industry, as well as community benefits and infrastructure improvements to the Midtown South area. New Yorkers are facing a citywide housing crisis, and we must confront it by advancing housing units and creating more homes with a focus on affordability. We are proud to pass another historic rezoning today that builds on our successful record. The Council's partnership with the Department of City Planning and community stakeholders, including Manhattan Community Boards 4 and 5, represents a model of community planning and collaboration that can advance housing solutions and community investments that benefit all New Yorkers. I want to thank Council Members Bottcher and Powers for their leadership. I also want to thank our planning and land use team, Paris Strotter, Brian Paul, Ann McCoy, Arthur Hutt, Deborah Kursor, Lina Saad, and Caroline Antonelli and Dana Leventhal for their engagement alongside the local council members to help make this effort a success. Today, we'll also vote on the following pieces of legislation. Resolution 986, sponsored by Councilmember Crystal Hudson, would recognize August 14th, 2025 as the 90th anniversary of Social Security and commemorate August 14th annually as Social Security Day in the city of New York. Thank you to staff members Regina Paul and Chloe Rivera. Introduction 422A, sponsored by Councilmember Rivera, would require the Office of Technology and Innovation to create a rooftop activity category on the city's 311 website and 311 mobile device application. Thank you, staff members Irene Byhovsky and Eric Brown. Introduction 1056A, sponsored by Councilmember Crystal Hudson, would require physicians and nurses employed by, contracted with, the Department of Health and Mental Hygiene and working in public schools through the Office of School Health to complete annual competency training on health concerns related to sexual orientation, gender identity, gender expression, and sex characteristics. Thank you to our staff members, Christopher Pepe, Sarah Sucher, and Zahar Moamzami. Next, we will vote on several bills to provide information on patient rights for transgender individuals. Introduction 628A, sponsored by Public Advocate Jumani Williams, would require the Department of Health and Mental Hygiene to design signs describing the rights of transgender patients, including information on an individual's right to be referred by their preferred name, title, gender, and pronoun, and to make such signs available to hospitals in the city. DOHMH would also be required to coordinate with the hospitals to identify the services offered to meet the specific needs of transgender individuals, including gender-affirming health care. Introduction 629A, sponsored by Public Advocate Williams, would require the DOHMH Commissioner to report annually on training provided by hospitals to medical staff regarding medical care for transgender individuals. Thank you to staff members Sarah Sucher and Christopher Pepe. Next, we will vote on several bills to improve the safety of child care programs. This legislation is especially important after the death of 1-year-old Nicholas Dominici from a fentanyl overdose at a daycare center in the Bronx. Nicholas's parents, Zoila Dominici and Otiniel Feliz, are here with us today. Please stand so we can recognize you. Our hearts are with you. We pass this legislation today in behalf of your beloved baby. We thank you for your courage, your strength, and your determination to see this legislation through. God bless you. The tragic loss of a child is something that no parents or family should ever experience. Our hearts are with you. As a council, we remain committed to ensuring the safety of our children, and we thank you so much for your fierce advocacy and partnership on these bills. Resolution 563B, sponsored by Councilmember Pirina Sanchez, would call upon the New York State Assembly to pass and the governor to sign S6225, A3899A, which would tighten regulations, enhance inspections, and provide training and resources to daycare providers and parents to ensure the safety of children in child daycare homes, programs, and facilities across New York State. Thank you to Joshua Newman. Introduction 1041A, also sponsored by Councilmember Sanchez, would require DOH-MH to conduct an annual outreach campaign to inform parents and legal guardians about their rights regarding their children in child care programs in New York City. And Introduction 1042A, also sponsored by Councilmember Sanchez, would require DOH-MH to report annually on training provided to their employees who inspect child care programs. Thank you so much to Sarah Sucher and Christopher Pepe. Introduction 998, sponsored by Councilmember Keith Powers, would codify New York City's Cooling Center program, requiring the Commissioner of the New York City Office of Emergency Management to designate cooling center locations when there is a heat-related emergency, and the designation of at least 7 cooling centers per 100,000 residents. The determinations of where to locate cooling centers would be required to consider factors such as areas where vulnerable populations reside. The bill would also require NYSEM to provide information on how the public can submit feedback about their experiences at cooling centers or report any challenges accessing them. Thank you once again to our staff members, Sarah Sucher and Christopher Pepe. And Introduction 1100A, sponsored by Councilmember Carlina Rivera, would require the Department of Social Services to amend eligibility criteria to include any period of time detained in a city jail, state prison, or residential mental health treatment facility as a time a person has been homeless for the purposes of qualifying for an existing supportive housing program administered and wholly funded by the city. Supportive housing remains one of the most effective solutions to provide stability for people facing a range of challenges. Yet these barriers to eligibility for justice-involved New Yorkers has limited their access. This bill is a step towards removing these barriers to housing that is a stabilizing force to make our city safer and ensure a more successful reentry from the justice system. We thank our staff members, Jeremy Whiteman and Natalie Meltzer. I would also like to recognize, which I did not, my interns from District 28 are here today, and I welcome them into City Council chambers for the first time. Welcome, interns. Thank you very much for your attention, and now I turn it back over to our Majority Leader.
Thank you, Speaker Adams. We will now move into discussion of general orders, and I'd like to first recognize Councilmember Sanchez, followed by Powers and Public Advocate Williams.
Thank you, Majority Leader. I'd first like to start with a short moment of silence. I'd like to use my time in that way for Nicolas. Thank you. Nearly 2 years have passed since the heartbreaking loss of 1-year-old Nicolas Feliz Dominici, a radiant, joyful child whose life was stolen by fentanyl exposure in a licensed daycare in the Bronx. Nicolas should be here today. His parents, Zoila y Otoniel, they did everything right. They placed their trust in a system meant to protect their son, but depraved criminals exploited its weaknesses, and their family's world was shattered. The depth of their pain is unimaginable, and our city continues to mourn. Today, we honor Nicolas's memory through action. The passage of intros 1041 and 1042, shaped by his family's courage, will help keep other children safe. 1041 will ensure parents are informed of their rights in daycare facilities, including that a parent can walk in at any time to ask to see their child and the facility. which this family was denied. Intro 1042 requires public reporting on inspector training, strengthening oversight and transparency. These steps move us toward a future where no families face such a tragedy. But because there is more work to do, we also are passing Reso 563, calling on the state legislature to pass and the governor to sign Assembly Bill 3899 and Senate 6225 by Assembly members George Alvarez and State Senator Gustavo Rivera, my counterparts at the state, respectively. These pieces of legislation would further strengthen inspections, improve training, and enhance transparency. I thank you, Speaker Adams, Health Chair, Councilmember Shulman, and the prosecutors whose work has already secured nearly 100 years of prison time for those responsible. Nicholas's light will never fade in his memory and in solidarity with his family. We will keep working until every child is safe and no parent has to bear this kind of loss. Thank you.
Recognizing Councilmember Powers.
Thank you. I'm excited today that we are voting on two major land use items in my district, as well as an important piece of legislation to codify the New York City's Cooling Centers program. First, I'm thrilled that we'll be voting on Midtown South mixed-use rezoning. The plan is a reflection of a simple truth that we don't have enough housing here in New York City, and because of that, rents have been skyrocketing, especially in Manhattan. The plan would create over 9,500 new units of housing through office conversions and new development, including more than 2,800 permanently affordable homes. This is one of the largest rezonings that we have done in this city for housing in decades. The plan also supports local schools, streets, parks, and a brand new crosstown busway, dedicated busway on 34th Street. I'm appreciative of all the people who came together to make this happen. I want to give a shout out to my colleague Eric Botcher, to New York City Planning Commissioner Dan Garodnick, to Ben and Franklin from my staff, to the Land Use Division here, and so many more. Second, after many years of negotiations, I think 6 years of negotiations, we're voting on a plan to modernize Lenox Hill Hospital on the Upper East Side. After Beth Israel's recent closure, I believe it's strongly we can't risk losing another hospital. The Lenox Hill Hospital treats 144,000 patients a year, employs 5,000 healthcare workers, and serves New Yorkers from all boroughs. The renovation will expand the emergency department, upgrade the operating rooms, and convert patient rooms to single occupancy, offering patients more privacy and reducing infection. This project was originally proposed years ago at a scale that we objected to, but have worked over the last years to get it to a better place, to deliver more excellent health care at the same time without cutting any beds. We brought the height down from 516 feet to 370 feet, reduced the construction timeline by 3 years. We have a new subway station coming on site and another subway investment coming across the street, and $7.5 million of community benefits. I want to thank all the advocates in the community who have worked with us to improve the plan, to Committee Board 8, to Carolyn and Ben from my staff, and all those who worked on this over the years. And just finally, I want to mention we're voting on a bill today to codify the city's Cooling Centers program, which can be a life-saving resource during months like August. Every year, about 580 New Yorkers die prematurely because of hot weather. We know the summers are getting hotter, and this is a way to keep people safe. I want to recognize Councilmember Kalman Yeager, who's not here, but was carrying this bill in an earlier version of it. I also want to thank Haley Brundage from my office for her work, and everyone who helped push this bill forward. Thanks to everyone, and hope you will vote aye. Thanks.
Recognizing Public Advocate Williams.
Thank you, Madam Majority Leader. Peace and blessing, love and light to everyone. I want to thank Chair Shulman for her leadership in the Committee on Health, and thank you, Speaker Adams, for your leadership in allowing me to speak before you today. After years of carrying the bills I'll be speaking about, it's with a lot of pride that I see them finally brought to a vote from the City Council. In a city with the diversity that we have, I believe that Intro 628 and Intro 629 have been long past due. Intro 628 would require signage to be posted detailing patient rights and hospital services for transgender individuals. Important to note, it doesn't require any particular type of service. It makes it clear what services are available. Additionally, Intro 629 would require the Department of Health and Mental Hygiene to report annually on training provided by hospitals regarding medical care for transgender individuals. Nurses and physicians receive minimum training on providing competent care on transgender and gender nonconforming TGNC individuals, with some medical schools reportedly allocating a median of 5 hours to LGBTQ+ care throughout the curricula. As a result, many in the TGNC community have reported negative experiences and face discrimination when interacting with the healthcare system, leading many to avoid hospitals and clinics altogether. Now more than ever, I hope everyone sees how interconnected our ability to get resources and our connectivity to actually have equity and justice is really connected. I believe it's important to see support our LGBTQ+ and TGNC community, to state clearly the resources and services available to them when so many other doors and avenues are closing. I know that our healthcare system, like many of other civic and social institutions, is facing a lot of uncertainty under the administration, particularly this administration. I hope people also see the importance of local government. I also want to make sure I always point out my own personal journey to give people permission to join the journey, to make sure we're including everyone. As a black man, a man of Caribbean descent, as a person of faith, 10 years ago I likely wouldn't have been the one sponsoring this legislation, but I'm proud, thanks to Kim Watson-Benjamin on my staff, who I instructed to make sure I push past my comfort, and she has done that every single day, and I'm inviting everyone to push past their comfort. That is the only way we're going to get through this. So thank you so much. I also want to just shout out Veronica Eves, Rosie Mendez, Elizabeth Guzman from my office as well. Let's get through this together. Thank you so much.
Recognizing Councilmember Brewer, followed by Rivera, then Hudson and Botcher.
Thank you very much. I wanted to speak about the Garment Center and the great work that's been going down in Midtown South. So as borough president, I was the one that put in money. It was a total of $25 million over several years to improve the Garment Center. And also we tried to get a purchase of a building. We were not successful of that. Pratt Center was very helpful. Thanks to Councilmember Botcher, and Powers, I know that a lot of work has gone into this, and I want to be clear on the money. The good news, as I understand it, is that there'll be an advisory group comprised of people from the garment makers and from local electeds and community boards to make sure that money goes in the future to support the Garment Center, not just to programs that are very unclear. Thank you very much for that. Number two, I hope that EDC will hire a staff member to participate in this process or oversight. And I hope that the New York Fashion Workforce Development Coalition will have nominations that are taken very seriously and have a say in the hiring. I'm very glad about the carve-out. I know that Councilmember Botcher worked really hard and took a lot of crap from people who should not have given it to him about the carve-out. I really, really thank him. That Garment Center is really important to our city. I still hope we can buy a building for the Garment Center. I was able to get $20 million. It was costing $60 million, probably more now. This Garment Center has the Broadway as its customer. You can't go to Brooklyn and Bronx and get a button when there's a button breaking in the middle of a production. So, and secondly, the individuals who work there get paid very well, as they should. And I just want to make sure that the Garment Center continues. I know we'll have housing, but the Garment Center is first and foremost on my list of centers that need to be continued. I really want to thank everybody, particularly those from the Garment Center, FIT, and so on, who came together. Thank you very much.
Recognizing Councilmember Rivera.
Good afternoon. Today we will vote on my bill, Intro 1100, a simple yet powerful change that can help break the cycle of homelessness and incarceration for thousands of New Yorkers, and I'm urging your support. Right now, if you're homeless and sent to Rikers, the time doesn't count towards your homeless history for supportive housing eligibility. The clock resets, even if you were living on the street the day before you were detained or you have nowhere to go once you're released. Instead of getting stable housing and care, too many are pushed back into shelters or on the streets. My bill requires that time spent in jail, state prisons, or a court-ordered mental health facility will count toward the homelessness history requirement for city-funded supportive housing if the person was homeless before and will likely be homeless after release. The facts are clear. Homelessness is 10 times more common among formerly incarcerated people than the general public. 1/3 of individuals admitted to New York City jails were unhoused before incarceration, and nearly 70% of people on Rikers who could benefit from supportive housing are shut out because of the chronic homelessness definition. It costs over $500,000 a year to incarcerate someone, but supportive housing saves public dollars and it changes lives. This bill makes sure that when individuals leave jail, they can access the housing and services they need to stabilize instead of returning to the conditions that led them to jail in the first place. I would like to thank colleagues from CSH, Supportive Housing Network of New York, Fortune Society, and all those with lived experience for their support through the legislative process over the last year and a half. I ask you all to vote yes on Intro 1100, my last bill. No pressure. Thank you.
Recognizing Councilmember Hudson.
Thank you so much. Today, I'd like to speak about Introduction 1056, which will enhance support services for LGBTQIA+ young people in public schools. Despite serving 915,000 children, our city's public school system does not currently have any requirement in place to ensure medical personnel, like school nurses or physicians, have training in the unique needs of LGBTQIA+ people. When young queer people have access to healthcare professionals who understand and affirm their identities, they are less likely to experience severe mental health challenges and more likely to receive care that directly meets their needs. Intro 1056 would require physicians and nurses employed by or contracted with the Department of Health and Mental Hygiene who work in public schools to complete an annual LGBTQIA+ competency training, which would focus on health concerns for the community, like information related to gender-affirming care, healthcare, and a list of referrals and resources to help medical personnel connect students with such care. This bill came out of the LGBTQIA+ caucus's policy agenda to address concerns that school personnel were unfamiliar with new developments facing LGBTQIA+ medical care. I'd like to thank the many groups working with young queer people, including the Ali Forney Center, Transformative Schools, VNS Health, and NYCLU, who helped improve and support this legislation. And I urge you all to vote aye. Thank you.
Recognizing Councilmember Bottcher.
I want to start by acknowledging the departure of one of my longest-serving aides, Hannah Moses, who was actually my field director in my campaign and is now my legislative and budget director, is sadly moving on, but I want to thank Hannah for everything she's done for me and our team and the people of Council District 3. Thank you, Hannah. And today is a big, big day for Council District 3 because we are passing a rezoning that will generate 9,535 new homes, including 2,842 permanently affordable apartments. That's as many affordable homes that have been built below 96th Street in Manhattan in the last 5 years combined. This is the biggest neighborhood rezoning in decades in New York City, and it's coming along with big, big benefits for the community in so many other ways. In addition to the protections for the garment industry and record investments in programs to assist the garment industry, we're turning Broadway from 21st Street up to 42nd Street into a grand pedestrian plaza that will rival the great public spaces of the world in cities like Barcelona and Paris. That's Broadway. 34th Street busway, car-free busway. We're going to have incredible investments in schools, parks, a new EMS station. We're honoring the past with new landmark designations. And so this is what it looks like when people come together to solve complex problems and really deliver the housing and other benefits our city needs. I want to thank my colleague, Keith Powers. I want to thank Speaker Adams and her leadership and the whole team at Council Planning and Land Use, everyone on my staff, as well as city planning. Thank you so much.
Seeing no one else signed up to speak. Report of special committees.
None.
Reports of standing committees.
Report of the Committee on Criminal Justice, Intro 1100A, Supportive Housing.
Amended and coupled on general orders.
Report of the Committee on Finance, Preconsidered Reso 1013, Transparency Resolution.
Coupled on general orders.
Preconsidered LU 342 and Reso 1028, Tax Exemption.
Coupled on general orders.
Report of the Committee on Health, Intro 628A and 629A, Care for Transgender Individuals.
Amended and coupled on general orders.
Intro 998A, cooling centers.
Amended and coupled on general orders.
Intro 1041A and 1042A, child
Amended
care.
and coupled on general orders.
Intro 1056A, competency training.
Amended and coupled on general orders.
Report of the Committee on Land Use, LU 324 to LU 332, various applications.
Approved with modifications and referred to the City Planning Commission pursuant to Section 197D of the New York City Charter.
LU 333 and Reso 1029, and LU 334 and Reso 1030, 347 Flushing Avenue.
Coupled on general orders.
LU 335 through LU 341, various applications.
Approved with modifications and referred to the City Planning Commission pursuant to Section 197D of the New York City Charter.
Report of the Committee on Technology, Intro 422A, city rooftops.
Amended and coupled on general orders.
General Orders Calendar, LU 324 and Reso 1031 through LU 341 and Reso 1041, various applications returned from City Planning.
Coupled on general orders.
Resolution appointing various persons, Commissioner of Deeds.
Coupled on general orders, I now ask that the clerk take a roll call vote on all of the items coupled on today's general orders calendar.
Riley.
Thank you. Majority Leader, permission to vote on all items on today's State of the Meeting agenda?
Permission granted.
I don't know. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Thank you. Abreu.
Aye.
Aviles.
Aye.
Ayala.
Aye.
Banks.
I don't know.
Botcher.
Aye on all.
Brannan.
Aye.
Brewer.
Yes.
Brooks Powers.
Aye on all.
Caban.
Aye on all.
Carr.
Majority Leader, request unanimous consent to vote on all land use call-ups.
Permission granted.
Thank you. I'll be voting, first let me disclose on the record that in the transparency resolution we're voting on today, we're funding the Jewish Community Center of Staten Island, and I am associated with that entity. And I'll be voting no on preconsidered resolution 1013, as well as introductions 1056A and 628A, and aye on the rest.
Thank you. De La Rosa.
Aye.
Thank you. Dinowitz.
I don't know.
Felder.
Aye.
Feliz.
I don't know.
Gennaro.
Aye.
Thank you. Gutierrez. Hanif.
Aye.
Thank you. Hanks.
I vote aye.
Holden.
Aye on all except intros 1056A and 628A, and preconsidered Reso 1013, of which I vote no.
Hudson.
Aye.
Joseph.
Aye.
Krishnan.
Aye.
Lee.
Aye.
Lewis.
Aye.
Marmorato.
I vote aye on all with the exception of intros 1056A, 628A, and the preconsidered resolution 1013. I vote no.
Marte. Mealy. Menin.
Aye.
Morano.
I vote aye on all with the exception of preconsidered resolution 1013, 1056A, 628A, and 629A. On those, I vote no.
Moya. Narcisse.
Vote aye.
Nurse. Ose.
I vote aye on all.
Palladino.
I vote aye on all except intro 1056, 628, and transparency reso 1013.
Powers.
Vote aye on all.
Wrestler.
Vote aye on all, and I just would like to take a moment to thank Councilmember Rivera for being such a wonderful colleague. We will miss you and wish you the best.
Rivera.
I vote aye, proudly. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Salam.
I vote aye on all, and I want to disclose on the record that I have membership with the YMCA, and my daughter one of my daughters is a member of Youth Represent.
Salamanca. Sanchez.
Proudly, aye.
Schulman.
Aye on all.
Ung.
Aye.
Vernikov.
Aye on all except no on intros 1056A, 628A, and no on preconsidered reso 1013. Thank you.
Williams.
Permission to explain my vote? Permission granted. Great. Hi, everybody. Happy summer. I just wanted to take this very quick moment to give a shout out to my wonderful interns, Aaliyah, Leanna, Alyssa, Abigail, Shamser, Anaf, and Wahi. Thanks for a great summer. And yes, you will be missed, Councilmember Rivera. And with that, I vote aye on all. Thank you so much, Majority Leader.
Thank you. Councilmember Hanif for disclosure.
I like to disclose on the record that the Atlantic Avenue Merchants Association is in today's transparency reso, and I am associated with that entity.
Thank you, Councilmember. Councilmember 1. Zhuang.
Aye.
Ariola.
I'd like to disclose for the record that in the transparency resolution is funding for the DSNY, and my son has an affiliation with that agency. I vote aye on all with the exception of intros 156A to 628A and preconsidered reso 1013. Thank you.
Farias.
Sorry, calling on Councilmember Joseph for her disclosure.
Thank you.
Councilmember
And
Joseph.
Thank you. In this transparency reso, my son is a New York City Public Schools student, and it's being funded, and he's also affiliated with BROSIS. That's also being funded in this transparency reso. Thank you.
Thank you. Farias.
I vote aye on all.
Speaker Adams.
Aye.
All items on today's general order calendar are adopted by a vote of 44 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative, and 0 abstentions, with the exception of Introduction 628A, Introduction 1056A, and Resolution 1013, which were adopted by a vote of 37 in the affirmative, 7 in the negative, and 0 abstentions, and Introduction 629A, which was adopted by a vote of 43 in the affirmative, 1 in the negative, and 0 abstentions. The revised land use call-up vote is 43 in the affirmative and 0 in the negative with no abstentions. With that, we will move into introduction and reading of bills.
All bills have been referred to committee as indicated on today's agenda.
Thank you. We will now move into the discussion of resolution, and I have no one signed up, so I'll just scan of the room. Councilmember Hudson.
Thank you so much. I'd like to briefly discuss my resolution 986. Today, this council is voting to recognize August 14, 2025 as the 90th anniversary of Social Security and commemorate August 14 annually as Social Security Day in the city of New York. 90 years ago today, President Franklin D. Roosevelt signed the Social Security Act into law to, quote, give some measure of protection to the average citizen and to their family against the loss of a job and against poverty-ridden old age, end quote. Currently, 1.3 million New Yorkers receive Social Security benefits, more than 40% of whom need their monthly checks to meet basic needs. Despite a 26% jump in the number of older Americans by 2035, the Trump administration is actively dismantling the infrastructure in place that supports older adults. In recent months, the federal government has made policy changes that make these benefits harder to access, from closing offices and removing language access services to limiting direct deposit information changes and eliminating the federal office tasked with supporting older adults. I'd like to thank AARP for their leadership and work to highlight this crucial anniversary, and I thank you, Majority Leader.
Thank you, Councilmember. Seeing no one else signed up to speak, we will now have a voice vote on today's resolutions. If you wish to vote against or abstain from any of today's resolutions, please notify the Legislative Documents Unit by email or by approaching the dais. I'll now read today's resolution into the record. Resolution 563B calls on the New York State to enact Senate Bill 6225 and Assembly Bill 3899A, which would tighten regulations, enhance inspections, and provide training and resources to daycare providers and parents to ensure the safety of children in child daycare homes, programs, and facilities across New York State. All those in favor say aye. All opposed say nay. Any abstentions? The ayes have it. Resolution 986 recognizes August 14th, 2025 as the 90th anniversary of Social Security and commemorates August 14 annually as Social Security Day in the city of New York. All those in favor say aye. All opposed say nay. Any abstentions? The ayes have it. We will now move into general discussion, and I'd like to first recognize Councilmember Rivera.
Madam Speaker, colleagues, and friends, thank you for the time and, of course, the kind words and anecdotes. Today will be my last stated meeting as a member of the New York City Council. I believe we all ran for office hoping to make lasting positive change for our communities. Working over almost 8 years with the members in this body on causes large and small has proven to me that we share the dream that New Yorkers always deserve better. From expanding healthcare access to strengthening public schools, from reducing food insecurity to fighting for more affordable housing, my focus has been to improve the lives of our neighbors. I have relished the successes and admittedly learned from the missteps along the way. But I'm leaving the council today with accomplishments that I am proud of. Direct investments in local schools, libraries, parks, and cultural institutions, victories on health, housing, and transportation policy to strengthen our communities and economy, a landmark workforce development center, affordable housing projects that have been completed, and roadmaps that will create even more. The East Side Coastal Resiliency Project, which will provide flood protection to my communities for generations to come. 44 local laws that build on fairness, dignity, and livability for my community and city, and the accomplishment that I'm most proud of outside these walls, becoming a mother. To my two beautiful children, they really are beautiful, it's a fact. I couldn't have done all of this without my staff, Katie, Sheila, Eddie, Lysander, Isamar, Biani, my interns. Thank you to the many people who at some point over the last 8 years chose to be on my team, helped implement a compassionate, forward-thinking agenda. So many wonderful people out there that made the choice to serve. I want to thank the advocates, my colleagues, of course my amazing family, I know my husband's watching on the live stream. And my friends, for your collaboration, your patience, and support. I want to thank you, Madam Speaker, for your support and camaraderie, and all my love to you always, to that Deputy Speaker, of course, to the dedicated staff of this great council. To my colleagues, in the face of unprecedented attacks on the fabric of what makes New York great, continue to stand strong. To my constituents, it's been the honor of my life to represent the 2nd District. These are the neighborhoods that raised me. I'm deeply grateful for your trust. As my time as your council member comes to an end, I'm reflecting on what we've achieved together to make our neighborhoods and city fairer and more livable for all. Born and raised on the Lower East Side, the proud product of a Puerto Rican family who came to New York from Puerto Rico from opportunity, I have carried that same drive into public service. I'll keep taking that same drive with me, as I hope you will too, as we continue to advocate for the people of the greatest city in the world. Thank you so much, everyone. It's been the absolute honor and privilege of a lifetime. Thank you.
One less Puerto Rican. Oh, one less Puerto Rican.
Recognizing Minority Leader Ariola.
Thank you, Majority Leader, Madam Speaker. I too would like to thank our intern, Ben Fox. Today is his last day. He returns to school. It's the 2nd year that he has been our intern, and he has really been an asset to our office, and we will miss him greatly, although we do remain friends and continue to keep in touch throughout the year. So good luck to you, Ben, as you return to your educational institution. 249 years ago, on July 2nd, 1776, in a sweltering chamber in Philadelphia, the members of the Second Continental Congress took a vote that changed the world forever. On that day, not the 4th of July, as so many believe, the Founding Fathers declared that the 13 American colonies were henceforth free and independent states. They would no longer be ruled by the British Empire. John Adams himself wrote that July 2nd would be celebrated for generations as the great anniversary festival of our freedom. Yet, over time, that date faded from public memory and was eclipsed in our minds by the day the Declaration's final text was approved, which is July 4th. But history matters, and it is important that future generations remember that the day the crucial vote in American history occurred was July 2nd. That is why I'm introducing a resolution to designate July 2nd as Freedom Day in New York City. This new day will not replace the 4th of July, but instead it will deepen its meaning. It will ensure that every New Yorker knows when our independence was truly declared and honor the courage the voters gave birth to our nation. I ask you all to sign on to Reso 1012 as sponsors and help preserve American history for New Yorkers for the future. Thank you for the time.
Recognizing Minority Whip Palladino, followed by Councilmember Morano and Brewer.
Good afternoon, everybody. The bill I'm introducing today is Intro 1362. It seeks to amend the administrative code of the City of New York by removing specific benchmarks related to protected bike lanes and protected bus lanes from the city's streets master plan. It would repeal the formal definitions of protected bicycle lanes and protected bus lanes and eliminate the quantitative targets for installing those lanes. However, other elements of the master plan, such as improvements to pedestrian infrastructure, transit signal priority, accessible pedestrian signals, and the intersection redesigns would and should remain in place. I am not opposed to bike lanes where bike lanes are appropriate, but the one-size-fits-all master plan that imposes a specific amount of bike lanes or protected bus lanes is just a recipe for disaster. In many cases, installing these lanes create more dangerous conditions for cyclists, pedestrians, and drivers. The intent of this legislation is to allow greater flexibility and discretion in how the city approaches street design and transportation planning, rather than being bound by numerical mandated targets. Now, more than ever, we need to ensure that critical projects involving street redesign or infrastructure are tailored to community-specific needs and are balanced with traffic flow, neighborhood character, and overall public safety. That is why I'm asking for the support of each and every one of you for Intro 1362. Thank you very much.
Recognizing Councilmember Morano, followed by Brewer, then Lewis.
Thank you. Colleagues, today I'm proud to introduce legislation alongside my co-sponsor, Councilmember Lincoln Ressler, that I believe will make our democracy stronger and our elections fairer. Right now, as I think a lot of you know, if you're running for mayor, public advocate, or controller, and you take public matching funds from the Campaign Finance Board, you're required to participate in debates. That makes sense. If taxpayers are footing the bill for your campaign, you should face the public, answer questions, and explain your vision. But here's the loophole. That rule doesn't apply to city council or borough president races, which means someone can take thousands, hundreds of thousands in public funds and never show up for a single debate. And I've seen it happen firsthand. In my special election in April, one of my opponents refused to participate in any in-person debates at all. This bill closes that gap. It says if you take public money in a council or borough president race, you must participate in at least one official debate. No ducking, no hiding, no candidate protection program. And I think this is going to make a big difference. And let me say, I couldn't ask for a better partner to bring this forward with than Lincoln Ressler. Yes, we may be the city council's bipartisan, bi-borough political odd couple. I'm pretty sure Netflix has already optioned the sitcom rights. But we both agree voters deserve transparency, accessibility, and respect. So hopefully this is just the beginning of a new era of Ressler-Morano collaboration. But if a Republican from Staten Island, the most conservative district in the city, no less, and the co-chair of the Progressive Caucus from Brooklyn can work together on good government reform legislation like this, I think that sends a message to the whole council, and I think maybe there's hope for the whole city, no matter how polarized it may seem we are at times. Thanks very much.
Recognizing Councilmember Brewer, followed by Lewis, and Majority Whip Brooks Powers.
Thank you very much. I too want to thank the interns who are here today, Samantha Saban, who's at Northwestern, Max Borgenich, who's at American University, Brandon Shoson, who's at LaGuardia High School, and then, of course, Sam is here. Sam, I can't remember where I wrote you down somewhere, but I will find you. Samantha is also here, and also Elise Kwan, who's a member of the staff. I do also want to congratulate Councilmember Rivera on her new job. I will miss all her gossip. She has a great deal to share, and I wish her the best. I want to point out that Councilmember Luis and I bought her flowers. I didn't see flowers from anybody else. Thank you.
Well, now everyone's going to run and go buy flowers. So recognizing Councilmember Lewis, followed by Majority Whip Brooks Powers, and Councilmember Shulman.
Thank you, Madam Majority Leader. Today I'm introducing two resolutions. The first, Resolution 1021, calls on the state to expand coverage for colon cancer screenings to individuals aged 35 and older, and to require such coverage in all insurance policies. Currently, the federal government only requires insurance plans to cover these screenings beginning at age 45. However, colon cancer rates in younger adults have risen for decades. The National Cancer Institute reports a steady increase in diagnoses among those under 50, with many cases already advanced by the time they are detected. NYC Health and Hospitals notes that when colon cancer is found early, the 5-year survival rate is 90%. Waiting to screen can cost lives. The second, Resolution 1022, calls on the state to hold corporations criminally liable when their negligence and recklessness at unmarked work sites result in serious injury or death. Resol 1022 addresses a pressing concern in our housing work sites that are not properly marked or secured, which poses serious dangers to residents, pedestrians, visitors, and children who may not realize they're walking into hazardous areas. I'm proud to advocate for these two resolutions and urge my colleagues to sign on. And lastly, I want to wish our colleague extraordinaire, Councilmember Rivera, on her next endeavor. And I want to thank you for your service and your hard work. Thank you.
Recognizing Majority Whip Brooks Powers, followed by Council Members Shulman, Hudson, and Salam.
Thank you. I want to begin by acknowledging two of my outstanding CUNY Career Launch interns who are with us today in chambers, Sean Munn and Alfonso Alarcon. Thank you for all the work you have done on behalf of the 31st Council District, and we will be sad to see you go. Next, I'm proud to introduce 3 bills that will strengthen safety, improve communication with our communities, and expand transit options in neighborhoods that need them most. 2 of these bills are the result of extensive discussions with our commuter van working group aimed at supporting the growth of the licensed commuter van industry to better serve transit deserts while cracking down on the dangerous unlicensed vans that undermine safety and take riders away from public transit. The first bill, Intro 1346, requires the Department of Transportation to conduct a comprehensive study of the commuter van industry every 4 years. This study will examine ridership, service areas, and stop locations and help us better understand how commuter vans fits into our broader transit network. The second bill, Intro 1347, directs our enforcement agencies to take a tougher approach to illegal operations by ensuring that every licensed van stopped on our streets is held accountable for all applicable violations and faces the maximum penalties allowed under law. The third bill, Intro 1345, responds to changes we've seen with our bus network redesign, such as the Queens Bus Network redesign. It would require DOT in coordination with the MTA to notify nearby homeowners and businesses whenever a bus stop is created or removed within 50 feet of their property. This is especially important for seniors and New Yorkers with disabilities who deserve advance notice when bus access changes in their neighborhood. These bills reflect our commitment to a transportation system that is safer, more accessible, and more responsive to the needs of every community. I urge my colleagues to join me in advancing them. And I also would like to join the chorus and just saying thank you to Councilmember Carlina Rivera for just being a tremendous colleague, mentor, and friend throughout this time that you've been here. You've helped me champion a lot of meaningful legislation, and I'm really thankful for all that you've done for me personally and as well as this body. So thank you, and good luck in this next chapter.
Recognizing Councilmember Shulman, followed by Hudson, then Salam.
Thank you, Majority Leader. No New Yorkers should have to choose between their health and their paycheck. That's why I'm introducing Intro 1369, which guarantees every worker in our city 5 hours of paid time each year for preventive medical care, checkups, screenings, particularly cancer screenings, and counseling that can catch illness early and save lives. This is a simple, common-sense step to keep our workforce healthy, reduce healthcare costs, and protect the well-being of every New Yorker. Healthy workers mean a stronger city, and that starts with giving people the time they need to take care of themselves. I also want to join in congratulating Councilmember Rivera in her new role and to thank her for everything that she has done. I will say that I knew Councilmember Rivera when she was a staffer for Councilmember Rosie Mendez, and worked on her first campaign and was very excited when she helped me on mine. And so congratulations, and we're going to miss you. Thank you.
Recognizing Councilmember Hudson, followed by Salam, then De La Rosa.
I wanted to give a thank you to my summer interns, Ilana, Juan, and Levi, and also wanted to say thank you, Councilmember Rivera, for all that you've done here in the council, all of the meaningful legislation that you've passed, the advice, the wisdom, the friendship that you've offered to so many of us. Congratulations on your next steps, and I wish you all the best.
Recognizing Councilmember Salam.
Thank you. I like, as the council likes to say, to associate my remarks with all the great remarks before me regarding the lovely council member as she goes on to her next venture. Colleagues, I'm proud to introduce 4 bills that advance accessibility, security, and cultural pride. First, Reso 1025, which honors Harlem's own Fat Man Scoop, a Grammy Award winner whose voice moved millions, by designating August 6th as Fat Man Scoop Day. Just this past Saturday, we got the opportunity on August 9th to celebrate the co-naming of 109th Street and 5th Avenue, also known as Museum Mile, as Isaac Fat Man Scoop Freeman Third Place. Thank you to the Majority Leader, Farias, for co-priming sponsor in this resolution. Secondly, I'm introducing Intro 1366 with Councilmember Julie Wan to require online web forms for all DSS benefit applications. This will make it easier for New Yorkers to apply for services without unnecessarily travel or paperwork, ensuring more accessible and user-friendly process. Third, Intro 1367, also with Councilmember Julie Wan, we're requiring .gov domains for all city agency websites. This will ensure residents know when they are interacting with a secure official city website, helping to protect against fraud and phishing attempts. Finally, I'm introducing Intro 1365 to help property owners by requiring the Department of Buildings to email regular reminders until work permits are signed off, preventing costly delays. This will save owners from unexpected fees, stalled projects, and lost time when they're ready to sell or refinance. These measures are about serving New Yorkers better, and I urge my colleagues to co-sponsor, and I thank the Speaker for her support in these efforts.
Recognizing Councilmember De La Rosa, followed by Narcisse, then Dinowitz.
Thank you, Madam Majority Leader. I want to join the chorus of praise for our colleague, Carlina Rivera. I met Carlina as staffers in the City Council many, many moons ago. From that to becoming elected officials representing the communities that raised us, I have been proud to watch your trajectory, and I wish you the best. Thank you for being a Latina leader who is fierce and stands up for her community at every turn. I wish you all the best. I want to also join Councilmember Sanchez in sending my deepest condolences to the parents of Nicolás Feliz Domenici. Mis sinceras condolencias a ustedes. Our community will stand with you in remembering the legacy of your child. No parent should have to bury their child, and we stand with you. I also want to turn our attention to my resolution, Reso 1015, which supports the Daily News workers. New York's hometown newspaper has been breaking news and publishing critical coverage for 106 years. Since Alden Capital has taken over, which is a predatory hedge fund, which acquired the paper in 2021, the Daily News has faced severe cuts and its staff has been slashed, its printing plant and offices sold for $90 million, and its newsroom reduced to just 65 journalists to cover 8.5 million people. If we believe in the free press and we believe that workers in our city should live and work in dignity, then I ask you all to support our resolution 1015, which calls on something as radical as living wages for journalists, paid sick time, and a guarantee of a secure retirement for Daily News workers. Please sign on and help us get this resolution passed. Thank you.
Recognizing Councilmember Narcisse.
I want to say thank you, Madam Majority, and thank you, Madam Speaker. And this evening, I want to talk about Carlina Rivera. Thank you for being who you are. Thank you for being my partner to eat together that prevent me from eating late at night. So I'm going to miss you greatly. I'm looking for other partners. Now, I want to talk about last Saturday. We celebrated the life of Ahmed Etienne, one of the folks that got killed at 345 Park, a proud Canarsie resident, a loving father, and a dedicated 32BJ SEIU security officer. Alan died as a hero. In these final moments, he showed the courage, resilience, and dignity that reflect the very best of his Haitian heritage. Those qualities shape who he was, guided how he lived, and inspired all of us who knew him. He held the elevator, and many said that prevent more folks from dying. Alan's life was one of the service protecting others. That's what he did, showing kindness and working hard to provide for his loved ones. His loss leaves a void in our community, but also a lasting example of bravery and resilience and selflessness. To Alan, loved one, we are here for you. We're going to support. And for those, and I have to say thank you to Congressman Hakeem Jeffries and, of course, Senator Schumer that helped me to bring the daughters that was in Dominican Republic and the mother that was in Haiti. So I want to say thank you to Catholic Charities that looking and helping me to make sure the families stay together and go to the good school that they can be, and the children. So I want to say thank you so much for everyone that showed up to show support in a time like that. So thank you, Madam Majority. I'm done.
Recognizing Councilmember Dinowitz.
Thank you, Madam Majority Leader. Councilmember Rivera, I want to thank you, Carlina. Early on, yes, you. Yeah, you're the one. Early on when you're a legislator, you don't know what you're doing. And since the very beginning, even before I was in office, you were there for me for everything from a phone call to sitting to bouncing ideas off of, and to have such guidance from like a serious legislator who dealt with everything from, keeping our kids safe from lead to criminal justice reform to our bicycle infrastructure to foie gras. I just want to thank you for being a friend and for always being there. And this council will feel a lot different without you here. And I know I'm very happy for you as you move on to the next phase of your life. And I'm sure your family's very happy for you as well. So thank you, Councilmember Rivera. I also want to just shout out my interns who are here, Emma Burke and Joshua Falk, and thank you for their work. And lastly, I'm introducing a piece of legislation today, Intro 1349, with Hospitals Committee Chair Mercedes Narcisse. That's just going to make it a little easier and more affordable for our city's medical and healthcare facilities so they could focus on what's most important, which is caring for patients. Under the city's current commercial waste zone program, businesses, including medical facilities, are locked into contracts with specific waste haulers who ultimately subcontract medical waste component to whoever they, to other organizations or other companies. But for healthcare facilities that generate medical waste, our hospital clinics, doctors' offices, this creates unnecessary burdens and costly burdens, and especially for bigger institutions that have facilities across multiple zones, this becomes problematic. So with this bill, we're attempting to reduce the costs for our hospitals and our healthcare facilities so that they could focus on what's most important, reducing administrative costs to care for patients' health, especially as our federal government seeks to cut our healthcare dollars. This bill is more important now than ever. Thank you, Madam Majority Leader.
Seeing no one else signed up to speak, I'd like to take a couple seconds to thank Councilmember Carlina Rivera from being staffers together, to doing joint fundraisers together, to being able to watch you really do the work here and learn from you in the councils, and then joining you and leading with you. I thank you, and I'm honored to have that time together, and congratulations on your next endeavor. And with that, I'll now call on Speaker Adrian Adams to close today's stated meeting.
Thank you, Majority Leader. And of course, Carlina, with this being your last stated, Carlina, of course, I'm going to take a moment to recognize you for your years of service to the people of your district and to our entire city. We, the three of us, make the triangle from the former session in the New York City Council. We are the last three standing. Learned a lot from our former colleagues right here in these chambers and in the members' lounge and in other places. And the triangle is now a duo. Okay. Especially when people still get the two of you confused. Just saying. Carlina has been a voice for the Lower East Side where she grew up, serving District 2 as a staff member for her predecessor and representing the district since 2018. She's been a leader for reproductive health care, leading efforts to establish the council's funding for abortion access and increase our commitment to $1 million. This is now the nation's largest municipal funding for direct abortion access to help those who cannot afford it. And I have to say that that package was amongst the first for the previous council and the small but so mighty Women's Caucus, of which you co-chaired. 11 of us in the Women's Caucus, one of the strongest bodies that I've ever been blessed to be a part of, with your leadership and former Councilmember Margaret Chen. And I will never forget the two of you, Margaret and Carlina, leading us right here in this in this city council. Her advocacy for our city's vibrant arts and cultural institutions and libraries as chair have been pivotal to our success in restoring. She is a fighter for our cultural organizations and libraries. Baselining, increasing funding for these pillars of our neighborhoods, it's under Carlina's leadership that we got that done. Her work on criminal justice issues, including today's bill on supportive housing, will have a lasting impact on the safety in our jails and entire city for years to come. As the prized colleague and member of my leadership team in the council, Councilmember Rivera has helped guide the council's focus and work to improve the lives of our constituents in the entire city of New York, not just your own district. I'm so grateful for your friendship. I'm so grateful for your support. I'm so grateful for our chats together, particularly in this session. I will never forget the Fagua bill. Thank you for helping save the little babies. Yes. Carlina, I love you. You will be missed, but I'm so proud of you, your achievements here in the council, and the great work that you will do, Madam CEO and President. We salute you. The stated meeting of August 14th, 2025 is hereby adjourned.